If you love salmon, you're gonna love this Peruvian salmon bowl. Come on, let's get started.
Todo queda sabroso.
So this salmon bowl is filled with a lot of Peruvian flavors. It's gonna be served over a bowl of jasmine rice, and we're gonna add some roasted carrots, some edamame, and topped off with one of Peru's famous sauces, Aji Verde. And for those who have been celebrating Lent, this is a great Good Friday meal. Okay, so we're going to begin our marinade for the salmon. First thing we're going to do is we're going to add a 1/4 cup of that Tamari, that soy sauce. Make it 1/2 cup. Now we don't need to add any salt because a lot of the salt is coming from the tamari. We're also going to add about a tablespoon of white vinegar. We're going to use the juice of 2 limes. Then we're going to add the aji panca. We're going to do about a teaspoon of the aji panca sauce, as well as the Huacatay paste. This is the Peruvian black mint. And we're going to add a teaspoon of that. And then we're going to add the most famous of the Peruvian peppers, and that is the Aji Amarillo. Now I made this myself from frozen Aji Amarillo peppers, but you can also use the jarred variety. Teaspoon of that. We're also going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of cumin, about a teaspoon of oregano, a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, 1/2 teaspoon of achiote powder, and we're going to add some olive oil. Almost forgot we need about a teaspoon of garlic paste or minced garlic. And then we're just going to mix all those flavors together. Okay, then we have our salmon. Beautiful piece of salmon that we're just going to place inside a Ziploc bag. And then I'm going to add that marinade right over the top. Then I want to try to squeeze out all the air so that all that marinade gets in contact with the salmon. And we're going to allow this to refrigerate for about 1 to 2 hours. So when making the Aji Verde sauce, one of the main components is mayonnaise. But as you know, mayonnaise is really not the healthiest choice. So instead of mayonnaise, we're going to substitute an avocado. What we're going to start with is some cilantro. I have about a cup of fresh cilantro with the leaves and some of the stems. I think the stems have a lot of flavor, so I always include those. Then I have 2 scallions, green onions, that I like to use. Some people put red onion. I'd rather keep it green and go with the scallion because it has that onion flavor. A few cloves of garlic. And when I say a few, I mean whatever your heart desires. Then we have 2 jalapeno peppers, and I kept the seeds in because we want it spicy. I also have some fresh queso fresco. Traditionally, Parmesan or cotija cheese can be used, but I'm using queso fresco. It's less saltier than the other 2. I'm also going to add the avocado, which is a substitute for the mayonnaise in this dish. Let me use 1 whole avocado. We're also adding the Aji Amarillo. This is going to give that Aji Verde that signature flavor. And I'm adding 2 teaspoons this time. I'm going to add the juice of 1 lime. We're also going to add about a tablespoon of vinegar, a little bit of olive oil, about a tablespoon as well, some salt and pepper, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of cumin. If it's too thick, you can add a little bit of water just to loosen it up a little bit. And here we have our Aji Verde sauce ready to go. Okay, now we're going to roast some vegetables. I have some rainbow carrots here that are simply just sliced in half. And this will be part of our veggies for the salmon bowl. We're also going to roast some corn. And I'm just going to shuck it and then leave it whole and roast it on the sheet tray. Okay, then I'm going to take my sheet tray. I'm going to add my carrots on one side and my corn on the other. And I'm simply just going to drizzle with a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of salt, a little bit of cracked black pepper. And for the carrots, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of agave. And we're just going to mix that up. And we're going to place this in a 400-degree oven for about 20 minutes. Okay, now it's time to cook our salmon. I preheated the oven to 500 degrees. It has been marinating for about 2 hours, and it's full of that flavor from that Peruvian marinade. And we're just going to put it on a sheet tray with parchment paper. Okay, so here we have our salmon ready to go. As you can see, it's nice and roasted. I basted it about halfway between the cooking, and it looks beautiful. And then we're just gonna flake off a piece and put it on our bowl. Okay, now we're ready to plate up. I have my bowl here, then I have the beautiful jasmine rice all cooked off. I'm gonna add a nice mound of that jasmine rice. I like to sprinkle that rice with a little scallion. Then we have those roasted carrots, the rainbow carrots. Then we have the edamame. These are shelled soybean. Then we have our roasted corn that I cut right off the cob. Then I have some salsa criolla. This is basically just sliced onions. I have some Thai bird chilies that I cut up, some cilantro, lime juice, and a little bit of salt. And this is a staple condiment at Peruvian tables everywhere you go in Peru. I'm just gonna add some of that salsa criolla. Then we're gonna add a nice piece of that salmon. Isn't that beautiful? Ooh. Last but not least, we're gonna hit it with the Aji Verde sauce. And some more green onion all around. And there we have our Peruvian salmon bowl. Sabroso.
Todo queda sabroso.